Hitler just woke up from his sleep. The surroundings make him wonder. Without the sound of guns or fighter planes passing by, all you hear is birds chirping. A moment later, a plastic ball rolls towards him with a dizzy head. Hitler tried to move, 3 small children already standing behind him. Hitler then asked Martin Bormann, who was Chancellor of the Nazis, "But these 3 children don't understand who you mean." Then the 3 are called because the shooting process is still ongoing. A private TV journalist named Fabian, not aware of Hitler caught by the camera when reporting a news, still confused. Hitler walked across the highway and he almost got hit by a vehicle until he gets to the Brandenburg Gate, which has become a tourist park in the middle of the crowd. Hitler asks the way to the chancellery, but these people even made Hitler as an interesting object to photograph. After a while, see mothers who look familiar when Hitler drew near. The mother's child was crying, and that liquid spray made Hitler difficulty seeing clearly. Hitler then approached the suburban stall and picked up a daily newspaper. It is fixed on the date that took place, i.e. October 23, 2014, when the stall owner rebuked Hitler suddenly. When Hitler woke up from his stupor, he suspected that he had been kidnapped, and suspect that the enemy's secret service has created a new world that looks like parallel world to trick and catch it. Start to get scared, Hitler gave up by raising his hands. The stall owner laughed at Hitler's behavior, and suspect that Hitler shooting a documentary. Hitler responds, "If his appearance every day is like that," and introduced himself as Hitler again. The stall owner thinks if he is joking. Hitler started digging for information through every newspaper here, adds on a newspaper featuring him. He knows that people think he's been dead a long time, so many amateur characters appear who demonstrates his personality. Disappointment arose in him after he found out that Germany, being led by a clumsy woman and changing the name of the country he was fighting for, become a federal republic. Meanwhile, a private TV company having a meeting, fallen new director election to a woman named Bellini, where it made Christoph, who had been for years served as deputy director, feel untrusted to be a director, hen met Fabian and provide a letter of dismissal with areas and to save expenses. Fabian is trying to offer his new material, which has the potential to make headlines. That is the hope of the Jewish children to improve their ball skills while their father was an alcoholic. Unfortunately, the dismissal is still done. Fabian looks sad while watching the video, the last one he recorded. Suddenly, her mother's gaze is fixed on the figure in the video that looks like Hitler. Curious. Fabian is planning to looking for Hitler in the center of Berlin. Back to the suburban stall. The stall owner told Hitler to pull out a shelf, accompanied by a groan. "Yesterday I mobilized the 12th Battalion. Now I'm moving the newspaper rack." The stall owner started to smell a strange smell, which turned out to be sourced from Hitler's uniform. Hitler was asked to bring his clothes to laundry services. In the first place, the washerman refused because of Hitler's clothes, which is over-smelly. Luckily, someone else wants to wash Hitler's clothes and lend him their clothes when Hitler returns. The Stalin are excited to welcome you and told that Fabian had looking for it everywhere. Fabian then introduced himself and imitated a bit Hitler's way of speaking. Hitler then went on to discuss the alliance between Poland and Romania to beat Germany, but they both thought that Hitler was good at acting. Fabian then promised will make him famous during his role as Hitler. After that, Fabian told his mother, related to his meeting with a figure who really looks like Hitler. He also borrowed his mother's car to wear for a week, see the car used by Fabian. Hitler was worried because it looks like the car not worth bringing to the battlefield. While with Hitler, Fabian started recording video documentation regarding Hitler's whereabouts and show media TV to show it. The sophistication of TV technology amazed Hitler. He then took the initiative to make TV as a propaganda medium. Continues where Hitler begins to conduct social experiments by throwing questions related to politics, democracy, and the system of government applied in Germany. The experiment was not only aimed at to the common people, but also to the nobles. After that they came Dog Farm, when Fabian interviewed the farm owner. Hitler was instead kept busy by a small in conditions, different when Fabian contacted Christoph. That he was make a film and ask for financial support, but Christoph turned off his phone instead, while Hitler is back at it, namely breaking Fabian's mother's car window, getting dizzy. Fabian is a little annoyed because of them no more money. Hitler also decided to open the services of a painter everyone that Hitler painted just laugh out loud so beautiful. Hitler painting, day after day passed. Fabian and Hitler have met many people. Hitler's presence was well received of everyone they meet. Fabian then went to Christophan and introduced Hitler. When Christoph invites Fabian talk face to face, Hitler even entered the meeting room. In this room, Hitler expressed his ideas regarding the future of the German nation. The people who were there just laughed. Look at Hitler's speech. Director Bellini was intrigued by Hitler's personality and will put Hitler on a comedy TV show. At that time, Fabian was allowed again to work. Christoph then showed the room to Hitler's new empire with the help of secretary Kromeyer. Kromeyer guiding Hitler to learn to operate a computer and introduce the internet, which will make him connect with the world. Continues to a comedy TV show, Crass Altar, where an actor plays a role as the president of Black America and some Muslim women to describe the current political situation. Then the next event is filled by Hitler. All the audience was silent at first. See the figure of Hitler in full uniform. After a few minutes, Hitler began to speak regarding the trash broadcasts shown on TV and promised to keep fighting against TV potentially bad influence. Hitler's statement made the audience applaud after the event. Some of the audience asking for Hitler's autograph. An uncomfortable comedy with Hitler's presence began to rampage, which made him have to be dragged out. Bellini and Christoph finally decided to air Hitler on all TV shows. Even some YouTubers publish Hitler's whereabouts, which made him even more famous. Its popularity is used as golden opportunity to change the system of government in Germany. He then went to the general chairman Democratic National Party and asked regarding the mobility of Polish products and citizens in Germany did not get a satisfactory answer. Hitler also vented his anger. Meanwhile, director Bellini was visited by prosecutors and police. Complaints from several parties on Hitler's statements containing hate speech. But they still allow Hitler's show. Addressing that, Berlin then talks privately with Hitler and asks that Hitler tell the background to make sure that they don't deal with the real Hitler. However, every time Hitler answered, the answer is always considered a joke. On the other hand, Kromeyer told Christoph regarding the request for compensation on the death of the little dog that Hitler shot while filming with Fabian to a TV show where Hitler was being interviewed. The interviewer then showed video footage of shooting a small dog. The video appears backgrounded by Christoph, who intends to shift Bellini from his post, and Bellini was fired from his post, later replaced by Christoph, while Hitler and Fabian back to Fabian's mother's house here. Hitler wrote a related book, The Beginning of His Trap, in 2014. Fabian then asked Bellini to come back, making a film adaptation of Hitler's book. Long story short, Hitler got back the trust of the German people through the book he wrote. He also donated to animal protection to make amends. At the same time, Christoph gets dizzy by their TV rating downgrade. Then a staff asked to better take over the making of Hitler's new film, adapted from Hitler's own story, without delay. Christoph finally came intended shooting location. She approaches a man, what he thought was Fabian, and it turned out it's someone else wearing a silicone mask while filming is in progress. Christoph then negotiated with Fabian to show the movie they're making with a pretty tempting pay. Continued to Kromeyer's house, where Fabian informed the offer from Christoph. Suddenly, Kromeyer's grandmother turned when she heard Hitler's voice. The grandmother apparently still remembers that it was Hitler. He then revealed how cruel was Hitler when led Nazi Germany. On the way back, Fabian started to think with the words of his grandmother Kromeyer. He then asked Hitler to stop, play the real Hitler character, other than for the sake of filming. But Hitler only gave a response, moving on to the shooting scene. Where did Hitler start? Wake up in 2014, the man who plays Fabian, then ask what happened before, so that Hitler woke up in that place. Hitler himself was confused too. He then left the set and was intercepted by two thugs who then beat him. Hitler was battered and hospitalized. Bellini informed that the culprit is an amateur Nazi thug, while Fabian is back watching the video. The beginning of the emergence of Hitler, he found a plume of smoke right where Hitler woke up. Curious, he went to that place, and it turned out to be the historical location of the Nazi bunker. He rushed to the hospital to find Hitler, but Hitler has been sent home. Fabian also told Bellini to tell if the man they suspect only play the character of Hitler. Turns out he's the real Hitler. Fabian keeps looking for Hitler, and when you meet suddenly the gun was pointed at Hitler, accompanied by words, You fool people with your propaganda. Hitler replied that the people were not deceived by propaganda, but consciously chose him as the leader. Don't care about it. Fabian also shot him. Hitler fell from the top of the building strangely. When Fabian looks down, suddenly, Hitler was standing behind him while saying, "You can't get rid of me. I am a part of all of you." In this scene, I was deceived. Turns out this is an ongoing shooting process after ending the shooting of his latest film Hitler, with colleagues remembering Fabian's services. The one who just died, the one in the movie, it is not known how Fabian died.